Today we're going to be talking about cycles, the upcoming key cycle dates, and why they are important to know. So the last cycle date that came up for the SPX was 8th through the 10th, which was right in here. And you can see we did get the drop on the 10th. And now the question remains is what happens next? So the way this one is planned out or playing out is that it should see a follow through decline of possibly greater magnitude, but there's no sign of that happening yet. So this is something that can happen up to the first week in November. One thing I've noticed with cycles in the stock market is that you'll get, oh, here's a cycle high, and you get like a 2-day sell-off, and then we're off and running to new highs again. The market is it's super strong, and we don't want to deny that. And when I'm looking at this daily chart, I'm seeing this amazing squeeze, and I'm looking at this 30-minute chart, and I see this amazing squeeze. So, and I look at something like this, I think we could actually very well make new highs first, and then possibly we get a flush a little bit later. But we did get the flush, and there's supposed to be a follow through at this point decline, kind of the late October, early November. So I think we could get something here where we get even a potentially breakout to new highs, but then just kind of keep in mind that that's looming on the horizon. So that applies equally to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And then typically what will happen on something like this too is that there will be other indexes that mirror this a little more closely. And one that's responded very well to these cycles is the Midcap 400. So this is what you can see we got on the 10th. And of course, we're kind of following along here, not quite as strong, but this is a good one to keep an eye on for any potential. Right now, we're bid. There's no signs that the market wants to roll over, but just keep in mind in terms of these cycles, we got the drop on October 10th, and then the next one shows another sell-off and possibly a lower low into the late October, early November. So that's kind of a vaguer window this time around, but that's what we got to work with.